Well, good morning, everybody. We're starting a little bit early today. Wow. Welcome to the show today. Assassin captured Batman's Robodog coming to a police department near you. Jay-Z now a suspect. And I got a surprise for you guys. We're going to do a remix contest. Now, what is going on? Well, guess what? The word crapper hole, literally, the word crapitole is now being picked up by YouTube algorithms to suppress free discussion. I literally was toggling yesterday's title of yesterday's show back and forth, putting in the word crapitole, literally spelt C-R-A-P-I-T-O-L. And I watched it switch back and forth from being flagged to not being flagged. For those of us with YouTube channels, you know what I'm talking about. You can see if a video is being picked up by the algorithms because they will demonetize it. And so I was toggling back and forth between the two titles, and I couldn't believe it. Crapitole is now a flagged word. Now, what happens when a video gets flagged? Well, once it's flagged, it's not shareable in most instances. So if you try to share it on Facebook, it will block that. And it's pretty much buried and limited to the people that come to the channel and nobody else. So that's not America, is it? And the first thing that Trump and Musk need to do, it should be at the top of their list, is to rid America of algorithm censorship. Obviously, Elon Musk claims to have experienced this with Twitter X, right? So he's in Trump's cabinet now. So one of the first things they should do is basically pass an executive order to rid America of algorithm censorship. How do they do it? Under discrimination laws. And if it needs to go to the Supreme Court, it will stand up under anti-discrimination laws. Not free speech, anti-discrimination laws. Because people, the alternative media are being discriminated against, aren't they? Now, of course, Elon Musk and Trump are not going to do that. But we're here to call out and hold accountable the incoming president, right? Because if we don't do that, then we would be fools, wouldn't we? Now, today I've got lots of updates to cover. Rise of the Batman Robodogs coming to a police station near you and what that means for our future going into these last days. One of you found this Trump Time magazine cover. You found one where he was positioned near the M in the word time, as you can see on your screen here, and it makes him look like he has bat ears. Well, I found all these other time covers with him on it where they did the exact same thing. Time covers going back decades. Trump is Batman. So we'll cover that. And also, Jay-Z has just now joined the list of the accused associated with the Diddy case. I've also got some silly Mars video footage. It's going to make you laugh. And the main story for today, they say that they captured the UnitedHealthcare assassin. Where did they capture him? At McDonald's. Of course at McDonald's, right? Unbelievable. How did they do it? Well, see something, say something. And drones, IP address tracking, and domain awareness system all put on full display in probably one of the fakest stories I think I've seen this year. Remember, anything that's happening now is a foreshadowing of the coming president, right? It all happened in New York. We've got the McDonald's connection and the suspect's name, which is just, I mean, you can't make this up. Let's start today's show with the UnitedHealthcare assassin capture. Watch this, you guys. Try not to laugh and spit out your coffee because it's hilarious. Look at these people. Look at this clown show. Okay, let's hear. Let's listen. Now listen carefully to these people. Okay, this is insane. And you tell me if this sounds real.
Every American to do. If you see something, say something.
If you see
most
something,
importantly,
say something.
do something.
Do
And
something.
they did. And because of that, we believe we have a strong person of interest to deal with this case. I want to now turn
To deal with the case.
it over to the Police Commissioner of the City of New York, Commissioner Tisch.
Now listen carefully to this clown show, okay?
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Earlier this morning in Altoona, Pennsylvania, members of the Altoona Police Department arrested Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old male on firearms charges. At this time, he is believed to be our person of interest in the brazen targeted murder of Brian Thompson, CEO of UnitedHealthcare, last Wednesday in Midtown Manhattan. The suspect was in a McDonald's and was recognized by an employee who then called local police.
At McDonald's. So an employee at McDonald's turns this guy in, and he's in there long enough to be captured by the police, is what they're saying. Now, we'll keep listening here because this gets even more hilarious.
Police. Responding officers questioned the suspect, who was acting suspiciously and was carrying multiple fraudulent IDs as well as a U.S.
Yeah, because that's what you do after you get, after you murder somebody. You just walk around with fraudulent IDs.
passport.
You don't stash them anywhere to where if you get picked up, they're not on your person.
Upon further investigation, officers recovered a firearm on his person.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and make sure you carry that murder weapon, too, because, that's not going to implicate you. Oh, forget about throwing it down a sewer or into a lake where it can never be found.
As well as a suppressor, both consistent with the weapon used in the murder. They also recovered clothing, including a mask consistent with those worn.
Oh, and don't forget to keep that very same mask that caught you on camera 500 times since you've been watching the news every day since they've been looking for you.
By our wanted individual. Also recovered was a fraudulent New Jersey ID matching the ID our suspect.
Oh, and make sure you keep those IDs that you already used that they have a record of because, you already used that and you saw yourself on the news. And that you knew that they knew that you used that ID, yeah, go ahead and hold on to that too, because that's going to really help your case.
Used to check into his New York City hostel before the shooting incident. Additionally, officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset.
And just in case, make sure you write everything down about how you wanted to do what you were going to do on a manifesto and carry that around in your pocket.
NYPD detectives are en route to Pennsylvania as we seek to interview the subject further. This apprehension is thanks to the tireless work of the greatest detectives in the world, and of course, the strong relationships we have with our local law enforcement partners on every level, local, state, and federal. We all serve the same public safety mission.
Wow.
And this case, which captured the attention of an entire nation, is another example.
Sure did, and I think that was all by design.
Of how connected we are and how important it is to work together, share information, and pursue every lead. For just over 5 days, our NYPD investigators combed through thousands of hours of video.
Now, before we get into this next part, understand that this man, Luigi Mangione, this is right out of, what is it? Super Mario Brothers. Ducking in and out of streets, which are like the pipes from the video game, popping his head up, then getting supersized at McDonald's, right? And then King Koopa, that's like the police chasing him. And then they capture him. I mean, this is silly, you guys.
Followed up on hundreds of tips and processed every bit of forensic evidence, DNA, fingerprints, IP addresses, and so much more.
IP addresses. Listen carefully. This is our future.
To tighten the net. We deployed drones, canine units, and scuba divers. We leveraged the domain awareness system.
Now we're going to do a deep dive on the domain awareness system. You guys, this is scary.
Argus cameras and conducted aviation
Argus cameras.
canvases. And our detectives also went door to door, interviewing potential witnesses and doing the good old-fashioned police work that our investigators are famous for.
Now, they keep repeating this good old-fashioned police work. And that's to throw you off of any concern about artificial intelligence and how they used it to find this guy. Keep listening, it gets better.
This combination of old school detective work and new age technology is what led to this result today. And
new age technology. The new age, the new golden age of technology.
Must also acknowledge the instrumental role the media and the public played in this case. The images that we shared with the public were spread far and wide, and the tips we received led to the recovery of crucial evidence. We should never underestimate the power of the public to be our eyes and our ears in these investigations.
In other words, tell on each other.
Is the third time in 3 weeks that a member of the public has seen something and said something and done something that led to a high-profile arrest.
See your neighbor burning a fire in their fireplace on a non-burn day? See something, say something.
Triple stabbing homicide in Manhattan, the gunpoint robberies in Queens during which an NYPD officer was shot, and now this. Now the case will continue.
And the Snitch Award goes to?
Through the criminal justice process. And while we are proud of today's accomplishment, we must, of course, remember that a family is in mourning. I want to again extend my sympathies to Brian's family.
Now, that's about all that's important, because here's the guy that they said did all this, and there's something weird going on with this. Now, I was able to pull up. Now, they've since taken down most of his social media profiles. But here he is here on Goodreads, and he actually gave a comment about America, and he liked a quote about America. Now, they have since connected this guy now to the Unabomber. They're saying he liked a Unabomber post. So yes, they can go into your social media and see what you like and what you don't like, especially after they've named you as a criminal. And apparently he was also connected to an Ivy League school and a prominent family with connections going all the way up to the government, the federal government. So the story just stinks to high heaven. Now here's the quote that he liked. America is the wealthiest nation on earth, but its people are mainly poor, and poor Americans are urged to hate themselves. So it's basically talking here about how poor people are not looked upon with any value in America. Now, this is actually true, but what they're trying to do is create a profile. Okay? Now, apparently this Goodreads account is still up, but all the rest of his social media accounts have been taken down. So I looked up what this digital surveillance system was, because I was curious. I had not heard of this before. And I was like, what is this? Well, apparently it's a thing. Domain awareness system. Unbelievable. Let's pull this up here. The largest, this is how they found this guy, the largest digital surveillance system in the world. Part of the Lower Manhattan Security Initiative. In partnership with New York Police Department, Microsoft, to monitor New York City. It allows the New York PD to track surveillance targets and gain detailed information about them. The system is connected to 18,000 CCTV video cameras around New York. It also has access to data from at least 2 billion license plate readings. So they're reading your license plate, 100 million summonses, 54 million 911 calls. So basically, it's artificial intelligence that collects the data. This is exactly what we told you was happening. It collects the data, it processes it in real time, and feeds back a tracking system to find anybody they want. Now, if you're not doing anything wrong, no big deal. But doing something wrong is all relative, right? It's all relative. And at any time, if they're bored, they can simply tighten the screws and go, okay, today we're going after Someone who was 1 minute past their time on their meter, send them a ticket in the mail, right? We have them on, because it would be so easy for them to do this. It's all digital. It's not going to cost them anything to write a ticket or cost them any time. They just send it to you in the mail. Next thing you know, you're on a prison planet. You guys, this is chilling. All of these surveillance aspects fed into a system with facial recognition. I mean, this is crazy. Now, I'll put a link to this. This is unbelievable. Now, what else is going on here, you guys? Well, as I said, they connected this guy to a Unabomber post, even that he liked, Ivy League schools, his prominent family connections. And as you heard her say, when they caught him, he was literally carrying the manifesto, or so they claim. I don't think the story's real. I think this is a segue into the coming presidency, the presidency of law and order. They're setting the stage, which is why it happened in New York, for our future. This is going to be the freedom city. Instead, it's going to be the slave city. Okay? The whole story seems fake to me. Basically, to open the door to digital surveillance in all major cities. And we're going to get into some other aspects of that. I had no idea, but apparently, as we get into the rest of today's stories, I wasn't expecting to find what I found, but apparently many police departments across the United States now have robodogs. Yes, robot police dogs. Now, up to this point, I thought, oh, well, maybe just a few police departments had purchased these robot dogs as mostly novelty. They probably almost never use them because you got to move the robot dog to the specific situation. And if you only have one, is that dog ever going to be in the right place at the right time for policing, right? But apparently there are dozens of major police departments across the United States that have now, just this year, 2024, started to employ robodogs. I couldn't believe this, and I was not expecting to find this, but here it is. This all happened this year while we were all asleep in the election, right? No one called it out, but here it is right here. Look at the dates. Miami-Dade introduces robotic dog. Robodog joins Seattle. Taylor, Michigan Police Department, K9, all within the last 6 months to a year. And there are many, many more. Dozens of police departments in 2024 started to deploy these robodogs. So 2024 was the year of the robodog. And of course, this is perfectly in line with Trump's incoming presidency. This is the setup, because remember, he had a robodog patrolling Mar-a-Lago, so he knew. They all know. And of course, these dogs will be linked into the system, artificial intelligence at some point. They could also be weaponized, put a gun on top of it with a camera, and then you don't even need to risk human life to go in and enforce the law, right? Now, I was shocked because even Arkansas, the state that I live in, just announced the addition of robodogs just a few months ago. Let's pull up that article. Here it is. This is insane. November 30th, 2024, state plans to buy robot dogs for Arkansas State Police Bomb Squad. Now, it starts with a bomb squad, but how many bombs are there in Arkansas? Obviously, the bomb squad is a cover story so that they can have these and then retrofit them later. So, this is our future, you guys. So, let's get a little bit more into this. Now, why are people accepting all this? Well, one, because Trump won, so their guard's down, right? Because if Biden was doing this, people would be alarmed, right? But this is how the right-left paradigm works. It puts your guard down because you trust the person you voted for. And it works both ways. It can work in the favor of the Democrats. It can work in the favor of the Republicans, is the way it works. Because you think, well, what's the problem? Well, here's the danger. Artificial intelligence will eventually be used to make decisions that could result in the harm to humans. The other danger about all this is the hackability of it, of these robot dogs. This is an electronic device. It could be hacked and overtaken and overrun. Or they could say it was hacked, and this will be their excuse as to why stuff happens, right? Here is the Taylor, this is actually Denver Police Department added their robot dog as well. Look at this thing. They look like they're all from the same company. What I should do is do a deep dive on the company that is making these things. Here's another one. This is New York Police Department. Here's a list of all of them that are published anyways. Massachusetts. Let's go through the list of some of these. Miami-Dade, Seattle, Denver, Los Angeles, Houston, Massachusetts, Arkansas, New York, San Francisco, Taylor, Michigan, and Hawaii. Those were all the ones that I could find so far. Almost a dozen major cities, you guys. So this is coming to a city near you if it already hasn't. I expect 2025 for this to ramp up even more. Now, let's get into, let me go back into the chat here. Let this catch up while I'm talking to you guys. We are going to do a contest. All right, so I need your guys' help here. And I started remixing, as you guys saw, some of the daily shows into shorts. But the views on the shorts are staying stuck underneath 1,000 views. And that's not normal. Typically, when you upload a short, it's supposed to get many more views than that, right? I think YouTube is hiding our shorts. So for those of you that want to be part of the effort to break through the censorship and wake people up, if you have a YouTube channel, we're going to have a contest. I want to see if you can remix parts of our daily shows on your own channels. So I'm giving you permission to do this. And if your video gets over 1,000 views, the first person's video that gets over 1,000 views that remixes our daily show, I will send you it has to be Cashapp, Venmo, or PayPal, and it will be I'll send that to you, $75. Now, the caveat here is, you can't be a major channel. I should probably put a cap on how many subscribers you have, because what this is a grassroots efforts. It'd be really easy for a larger channel to do this, but for a smaller channel, it's all going to be based on breaking through the algorithms, right? Because we all have seen some of these shorts go viral on small channels, but now your opportunity here is to do it from a small channel and also help this channel, right? And also win some money. So the first person that gets past 1,000 views on a remixed short on your channel, I would say we would have to cap the subscribers on those channels to, let's say, 5,000. So if you have a channel of 5,000 subscribers or less, then you're eligible to enter this contest. Okay. Now, let me give you the rules about this, and I'll show you how to do it. And then we'll get into the rest of today's show. Now, the only way to do this is through your mobile app. Okay. So again, you're only really going to qualify to do this if you have a mobile app with YouTube on it. And when you pull up any of my daily shows, there will be a create or remix button like you see on your screen here. Now, all I ask you to do is put a link underneath your remixed video back to our YouTube channel. You could just send it right back to the main channel or to the video from which you remixed it. You hit this create button, and then another window will pop up, and you hit the first selection, which is called edit into short. It's called edit into short. And at that point, all you do is expand the length to 60 seconds, and you can grab any clip from the entire show into a 60-second clip, and you just hit publish, and it will publish. And that's how you do it. It's pretty simple. So that's the contest, you guys. If your short remixed gets 1,000 views, first person, send me an email, caseybrown1973@gmail.com, and send me a link to the video, to the short, and show me that it's, and I'll be able to click on it, see if it's got 1,000 views, and you'll get a $75 PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. You got to have one of those three in order to qualify as well. So that's pretty much it. And I think if like 100 people remixed our videos, that's going to help our channel grow, isn't it? It's going to help more people come to the channel. All right. Any questions about that? Let me go back into the chat. Any questions? Now, you can remix the video any way you want. Oh, remember, you can't have over 5,000 subscribers to be part of this context, because it would be really easy for someone with 50,000 subscribers to get 1,000 views, right, on a remix. So that wouldn't be fair to where, the goal of where we're trying to take this. Okay. So we have to think outside the box, right, when it comes to reaching more people in our truth community. And thanks everybody for your efforts. You guys are awesome and amazing. So, look, if this is successful, we'll do it maybe once a month, we'll do this kind of contest. So now my son apparently is a really good editor and really good at, YouTube and stuff like this. So I'm going to try to maybe hire him to help me reconfigure the channel so that, we can make it so it reaches more people. You guys, a YouTube channel is now like, you have to be a marketing major. And I'm not talking a marketing major like my marketing degree from 20 years ago. I'm talking about a marketing major in the current technology to understand how publishing works, because there are all kinds of little buttons and tricks and things you have to do. One of them is your title has to be mentioned actually in your video. There's all these secret little doors you have to pass through that almost nobody knows how to do unless you stumble upon it by accident. So crazy times, you guys. We're going to push through. Now, let's get into the rest of today's stories. This is crazy. Ready to laugh? Let's get into some Mars silliness. The Perseverance rover captures Martian dust devil. Okay, let's take a look at that. You guys want to see a dust devil on Mars? Let's see if this works here. Dun, dun, dun. Why do they keep sending us cartoons? You guys. And who's holding the camera? Wait, let's refresh this. That's a landing of some type. Have you ever seen a dust devil in a completely calm landscape where there's no other wind except for the dust devil? Let's take a look here. Let's let this video pop up here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we'll be serious now. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Listen to the music. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. It's a Mars dust devil. Wait, hold on. Let's fix this. There it is. And there's no other wind anywhere on the landscape except for the dust devil. Wow. Look at this. There it is. Wow. Okay, so remember, what are we into? 20 years or so of surveillance of Mars, and it took them 20 years to capture a dust devil. Here's what I think's really going on here. I think that these people have a list of like novelty things that they think people would be interested in, and they have dates that they're going to deploy all this fake madness, and they just keep rolling them out, right? So they're like, okay, the end of 2024, let's roll out the dust devil footage, and they just keep coming up with stuff. So, wow, unbelievable. The first dust devil ever captured on Mars, 20 years into Mars surveillance. Whatever. Now, let's get into the rest of today's stories. Jay-Z has now been named in the Diddy honey trap. And I did leave some comments under this story talking about how this whole thing to me seems like the fall of something that was already created to fall. It was designed to fall. It's basically a dragnet. And believe it or not, it's going after Black culture. Okay. Now, I'm not saying this to make any excuses. What I'm stating here is that this whole culture was set up to begin with by the controllers. This is why they allowed all of this salacious content and, all of the opposite of what they say they stand for, right? Which is protecting women and not sexualizing women. But yet, the entire Black music entertainment industry was all about that. And it was allowed to happen on purpose. And then all these people were joined in and they thought they had a free ticket to do whatever they wanted for all this time. They were given a false sense of security, enough rope to hang themselves, essentially. And then they then called in the ticket for this. Now, the timing of this is what's interesting. It suggests that we're approaching the end of something, doesn't it? And here's the problem with this. All of this Black culture that they've allowed to proliferate over the last several decades, and the dysfunction of it, has provided a false role model for our youth. So we've had discussions about this, haven't we? A false role model for Black youth. Because Black youth think that, I'm going to be a rap artist or I'm going to be an athlete. And those are not realistic goals to seek after. They're not. Where is all of the training? Why didn't Obama say, okay, we're going to come up with a new initiative to go into inner cities and train people to be scuba divers and welders and carpenters? We're going to have schooling for them to pull them out of the ghetto. Were those discussions ever happen? No, they were not. Instead, we got Obama getting behind these false idols for youth. Diddy, you saw him with, Jay-Z and all the rest of them, is what happened. Please stop calling me a Mason or you're going to get taken out of here. That's your last warning, Astro Gumbo, because I've seen you popping your mouth off in the chat. Now, and please take care of that, Rebecca, if you're in here. She's probably not here today. I think she had to leave early. So anyway, let's keep going with this, you guys. So they're calling this in, and now all of a sudden it's the destruction of it all, isn't it? And what does that do to Black people? We don't have a leg to stand on. We don't have a leg to stand on at this point, because they gave us all of this stuff. And then now it's been soaked up by Black culture. And now you've got Black people making excuses for these people, right? Making excuses for them. Well, that ain't going to last long, because every day they parade out a new person connected to this case. Pretty much the entire Black culture is connected to this, that have gone to these white parties and hung out with Diddy. So what is going on here, you guys? Well, we're all going to see all this play out, and they're calling it in, and we'll just see what happens at that point. Now, what else is going on? Well, if you haven't heard, Al-Qaeda pretty much just took over control of Syria in some mishmash of nonsense. And Israel is now working with Al-Qaeda in Syria by dropping bombs for them. What kind of clown world do we live in now? What kind of clown world do we live in? So Damascus has fallen and bombs popping off everywhere. In Syria, Assad has, of course, escaped to Russia. If you haven't heard by now, pretty much most of you have already heard what is going on. Now, let's get back into this Trump cover. Trump is Batman. On this Time magazine cover, with this M pictured over his head. Now, this can't be an accident. Look, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4 different covers with the M directly over his head, making him appear to have bat ears like Batman. Now, one of you mentioned this to me in the comment section. I do try to read the comment section so I can, include some of what you guys have in the show, the daily shows. But think about this too. Magazine cover, MAGA. So they know he's Batman. And so I asked the question, next logical question. Did Batman have a Robodog? And he absolutely did. Ready for this? I could not believe this. Ace the Bat Hound. Here he is right here. Batman had a Robodog. Now, why do I call him a Robodog? Now, it's interesting. His name's Ace, right? And on one of these covers, let's go back to the cover. Trump is holding up an Ace card. Now, in certain games, card games, the Ace is the trump card. I think there was one game in specific I was looking at where the Ace could act as a trump card, and that game is called Eucharist. So, what is up with Ace the Bat Hound? Batman's dog. Well, check this out. The dog could be controlled by radio frequencies, just like a Robodog. Let's read, you guys. His specialized radio collar, when activated, told him to don his own mask via a hands-free device and track down Batman and Robin. Here's another Wikipedia page talking about Ace the Bat Hound. A two-way radio on Bat Hound's collar enabled Batman to eavesdrop on bandits and issue commands to Ace. Wow. Now, there were many iterations of this dog, Ace, from the Batman comic universe. And I thought it was interesting, the connection between the Robodogs with the radio frequencies. So, we're living in comic world. Super Mario Brothers, Luigi running through the pipes of New York, popping up, getting supersized at McDonald's. We've got Trump's Bat Dogs, Ace, Robodogs with control by electronic frequencies. It's shocking, you guys. It's really shocking. Okay, I'm back in the chat. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for taking care of the troll, Rebecca. Yeah, as I told you, there's increased trolling going on going into the inauguration. I expect that to happen. Nobody wants to see Trump criticized right now. It's all being controlled. So out have come the trolls. And I've seen the substantial increase in the attacks on the channel in the comment section. So we got to be on the lookout for that. Cannot let people disrupt the message of the truth, right? Fake stories about people being shot, it's all a setup into the surveillance state. That's what they wanted you to focus on in that story. And it needs to be called out. And Trump is part of it. He will be part of it. Law and order will be all of this artificial intelligence and surveillance. All right, you guys, I'm back in the chat. All you can do is laugh. That's all you can do. And hope more people wake up and stop being part of the development of this surveillance system and stop giving up their privacy and rights. So that's the whole point of this, is to get our rights back and to get our privacy back. Now, we already know that's not going to happen, but it doesn't mean we can't stand up for our principles, right? Yeah, that Mar-a-Lago dog was straight up spooky. Absolutely. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and pop off here too. I love each and every one of you. Thanks for showing up. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Much love.